with us in the form for another week of top quality action. We've got Group 1 racing coming your way from Hastings this weekend, as well as across the ditch. Let's have a little look at what's on the agenda for this morning. We kick things off with the Rotorua Gallops. Brendan Popplewell talks us through his best and value bet. We then head to Matt Cameron, who's got a number of nice rides for the Baker Forsman stable. We then head to Tuesday track work with Aidan Rodley before wrapping things up with Bjorn Baker, who's got a big weekend as we head towards the Epsom Handicap. And as always, finishing the show with our best bets. Well, first up today on the form is Brendan Popplewell, and we're looking forward to the Rotorua Gallops, Brendan, and there are a couple of specials from the TAB to play into, which are offering plenty of return.
Certainly will, Emily. Look, especially around the late quaddie, that's enticing for punters to look forward to with that $25,000 guaranteed pot starting on race number 5. I was liking a couple of horses in that last league too, which we'll chat about shortly, that maybe we can help to just cut that spin down. And $10,000 first fours guaranteed on each and every race. There's a couple of very nice races there through the middle part of the program, a maiden race and a maiden 3-year-old race. So a chance to sort of dive into the trial form there and maybe hopefully get a return if you're looking to play the multiples.
Talk to us about your best and value bet. We'll start with the best, and race number 2, Mr. Reliable, is the one that you've gone for.
Really like this horse, Emily. This is a horse that competed in the 2000 Guineas last season and finished into 8th position, but he produced 2 terrific runs at Ashburton leading up towards the 2000 Guineas. He won at Ashburton going quicker on the same day than rating 65 and rating 74 horses over 1,400 metres when running 123.7. He came from second to last and he boomed home down the centre part of the track for Craig Grills and showed an explosive turn of foot, and he was unlucky when he ran third in his maiden. He then tackled the big guns. They were there to try their hand in the 2000 Guineas. Things didn't go to plan. So he's had some time off. He's had some very quiet trials, and his last trial was very eye-catching for mine. He was a horse who was just in behind them when finishing 4th and looked like Craig had a fair bit more to offer also over the 950 metres. The query and the question mark will be how he gets through the heavy track conditions for mine with Mr. Reliable, but just hoping that real pure ability can come through first up. So I was happy to mark him down as a bet in race number 2.
And then I like what you're doing with your value bet, because you're spicing things up this afternoon at Rotorua and getting involved also a key leg in that $25,000 guaranteed late quaddie. Tell us about the value bet and what you're doing.
Well, I sort of looked at this value bet as I'm torn between 2 horses, and that is Super Centi and also Stellar Eclipse. Stellar Eclipse is a horse who will go forward in running and be either in front or outside leader just with how she maps. She's a very speedy horse out of the barriers, and she's run second behind Netanyahu and very well back last time out to the races. She's getting closer with every time she goes to the races. But Super Centi, at the same time, has been running very good races. You only have to go back to the day this horse, 3 starts ago, ran second behind Gospodin. Well, that horse just keeps on winning. And that was in a maiden as-at race. Last time to the races, got well back and boomed home to finish into 3rd position. So if she is just off pressure and Stellar Eclipse is in front, maybe one in front can kick away and Stellar and Super Centi can be the one finishing hard. I'm hoping they can Quinella the race in race number 8. So I'm going with Super Centi and Stellar Eclipse as my value chance with them running the Quinella.
We're not too far away from the second Group 1 of the season, Brendan, of course, with the second day of Hastings coming up very soon. Talk to us about the race day as a whole, because it's interesting with the Group 1, isn't it? Call sign Mav, can he make it back-to-back Group 1 races?
He's got a great opportunity to do so, doesn't he, Emily? Look, he was a runner that was, I thought so game with how he won, because he was seriously looked at by Spring Tide, who came alongside and even looked like he was going to win the race, but didn't he really find, like a good horse that he is, and he is a genuine Group 1 galloper, is Call Sign Mav. He gets a lot in his favour for this weekend. Once we find out where he draws track conditions, well, we know that he can get through that slow 8 bracket. I know they've had rain in the Hawke's Bay in the last 24 hours, but the forecast looking ahead is positive. So even if it does, get into that dead bracket, it's not going to be an issue for him, because we've seen him being so adaptable in any type of track condition. Spring Tide is his main danger once again, the late nomination into the Windsor Park Plate. This horse will be going beyond 1,400 metres for the very first time, so that will be the question mark. But you can't deny them having another shot at a Group 1 with just how close that horse got in the Tarzino. And then you've got horses like Maceto and Harlech and Gino Severini. You'll be hoping that they are going to be improvers as they get up over to 1600 metres. But for all intents and purposes, if he draws well, he looks like a horse who'll start under the $2 mark and look very hard to tip against.
Well, enjoy the Rotorua meeting, Brendan, and good luck for the weekend as well. We'll be watching with interest.
Nice one. Thanks, Emily.
Joins us on the phone to have a chat through his rides for Rotorua this afternoon. And Matt, as we say a very good morning to you, great to have you with us.
Thank you. No, it's good to be here.
Let's have a little run through your rides. We can go through them in racebook order. And your first ride of the day will be in race 2, the rating 65 on Powerful Moss, a horse that you know pretty well. Third up now, what have you made of those 2 starts, both obviously finishing 6th?
Yeah, they've been good. He's a funny wee horse. He probably wants that rain on the day, nice loose track. So I think I won on him at Matamata a while ago, his first win, and it was really, it's really sloppy track there that day. So he did race on Sunday, so I'm not 100% sure if he's going round. But like I say, Andrew Murray put me down, and it's probably not going to hurt him to back up either. He was quite fresh on Sunday, so he's fit, he's ready to go. He's due to win soon, so that'll be good.
Up to the 1400 metres as well. Did he give you the indication that that'll suit once again?
Yeah, definitely. He, on Sunday it was just a little bit quick, around Tauranga, bit of a tight turning track, and they've kind of, once he was on the bit, they went again. So he was slowly getting towards him the last little bit. So the 1400 metres will be perfect for him.
In race number 3, the maiden 3-year-old, you've got Eagle Tarzan, who was relatively well fancied at that last start on the Cambridge Synthetic. It was just 970 metres. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it was. He did a few things wrong. He's quite a strong horse, and he does a few. Like I say, he does a few things wrong. He's got the noseband on for the first time, which was great. If he can do everything right from the one draw and just get those racing manners under control, he should be fine. I thought he was going to be a top chance after his trial win there previous to his race day start. So if he can do everything right and get a nice soft run, or even lead and get a soft run there, he should be a top chance. He
also goes back to the grass too, Matt, I noticed, and that must be a plus as well.
Yeah, it is. Like I say, you can only do so much on the synthetic, and it's, you think about, when the weather's a bit crappy, it's good to be on that synthetic, but, you never, when as a jockey and a rider, you're crying out for that grass track to come up sooner or later. So, and I think the horses are feeling the same way as well. So, yeah, it'll be good. It'll probably just slow them down a little bit too. Just get his head in the game and just do things properly, hopefully. So it should be perfect.
Race number 4, the maiden 3-year-old. You've got Crushing, who's on debut, actually the progeny of Vancouver. You've had the pleasure of riding this horse in a trial. It was a 3rd placing. What did you take away from that trial at Waikato?
Yeah, it was okay. Like, he's a very funny horse. He's very touchy. He does a few things wrong. I think he's been accepted and scratched quite a few times due to the tracks, and just trying to get it right for him, because he's the kind of horse too, you don't want to step him out there if there's something against him, because he just probably wouldn't cope too well with that. But he's shown enough at the track. Like I say, you'll know more race day, the more starts he has, the experience he gets. But it's been a long time waiting for him to step out at the races. So no, it'll be good once he's out there, get a couple runs under his belt, and he'll be away.
And then finally, race number 7, Duke's Gambit. I know this is a horse that you don't know particularly well, but stepping up to the 1,560 metres might be a plus.
Yeah, I think, there's been a few gear changes, and like I say, the wet track with breeding, it looks like it might be able to cop that. And Gavin Opie has his horses pretty fit too, so I think he's 3rd up, and hopefully it'll be a chance on that.
If you had to give us a winning ride for Rotorua this afternoon, what would it be?
They have to go Eagle Tarzan. If he does everything right, he's drawn the one gate. The track holds together nice enough without any rain. He should be fine. I think he's the horse. He's fit. He's had a few trials, and he should be ready to go.
As we look forward to Saturday, of course, we've got Group 1 racing out of Hastings, and I know before we spoke, you were pretty excited to throw your leg over Meritable again, who takes its place in the Hawke's Bay Guineas. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, he's a super little horse. He got the tough win last start on the synthetic. It was a nice little field. I think it's going to be a bit of a form race coming out of that one. He's a little colty, and he does what he has to, so the blinkers are come on for Saturday. I galloped him this morning on the grass. He was super. He's a horse who's probably just going to keep improving. So very excited to be sitting on him again.
And he's in the China Horse Club colours, isn't he? Those colours have been pretty good to you, casting my mind back to Madison County, of course.
Yeah, definitely. He's like I was talking to Andrew Murray after he'd won. He is quite similar to Madison County. He does everything right. He's a little dude, so hopefully he can keep improving.
And just before we let you go, if there was a horse we could follow heading forward, would you be able to pick one out for us?
Yeah, I like the 2-year-old I won on Saturday, Wessex. Turn Me Loose filly. She's lovely. She's really well mannered. Does everything perfectly, and I think she might be having a little bit of a breather at the moment, a little bit of a couple of weeks off. So she comes back in, she'll strengthen up a little bit more, and she should be away laughing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her back in the stable.
Well, thanks for your time, Matt. Good luck at Rotorua, and good luck on Saturday as well in those stakes races.
Oh, cheers, Emily.
Now for Tuesday track work here on The Form, Aidan Rodley was out and about and got the latest from the track.
Tony, Hawke's Bay Guineas this weekend. You've got Kufu heading that way. Obviously the win at Hawera was very good. How's he done?
Yeah, he galloped really well this morning here on the Poly at Cambridge this morning. Michael galloped him and couldn't have been happier with him. Obviously we wanted to take an easier option through probably Matamata last week. Obviously it's a big jump in class for a Hawera maiden, but due to track conditions obviously we've been forced to head to the Guineas on Saturday. Obviously the better track's going to suit, and yeah, look, he's obviously very progressive. We know how much ability he's got, so it'll be interesting to see how he matches up against the better 3-year-olds, and obviously on hopefully a Guineas path down to Riccarton.
What did he do this morning?
Just worked over 1,000 metres on the Poly track and just came home a nice easy 600 metres. He's a pretty fit racehorse now, and yeah, look, taking good progression from that Hawera race. He's sort of started to grow up. He's relaxing in his work and starting to do things a bit more professionally, which obviously he needed to do.
Yeah, that's going to bode well for a Guineas. How competitive can he be down there?
Yeah, I think as he's learning to settle, I really think the 1,600 metres on the big track will suit. Obviously the 3-year-old form at this stage with the wet tracks at Hastings for the Al Rocker, it's sort of up in the air a wee bit, so it'll be interesting over the next few weeks just to see which 3-year-olds put their hand up.
Okay, what do you do with them safely through this one?
Safely through here, obviously the obvious targets the Sarton Memorial at Te Rapa, but we'll just safely get through Saturday and then obviously make some plans, hopefully heading down south.
Talking about 3-year-olds, how is your sort of Guineas team going?
Yeah, got a few kicking off at Riccarton this weekend. Field of Gold runs in the 3-year-old 1,400 metre race. Obviously he won a pretty weak maiden at Te Rapa, but he's a horse we've always held in pretty high regard. He ran third first up in a pretty strong 2-year-old race at Ruakaka and got the job done nicely on a very unsuitable track at Te Rapa. So I think he's progressive. Sherwood Frost half brother, so he's probably got a bit more brilliance than he had at the same time at 3. And obviously we've headed on down south to get some decent tracks, and also I think the Triple A will sort of really help him progress through to the Guineas. So he'll run Saturday, then run in the mile 3-year-old race, and hopefully onto the Guineas from there. A nice 3-year-old filly called There You Go. She's run well in stakes races, although still a maidener. She's come up really well this preparation, and she'll kick off in the maiden 1,400 down there, and I think she's one that could possibly easily get through to a Guineas.
You've got a decent team at Riccarton this weekend. How many could run down there?
We'll probably run 7. We sent 7 down on Saturday morning. They've all settled in well, and it's an interesting time of the year. Hopefully if we finally start getting some decent tracks and get some good spring racing underway.
And they've all travelled and settled in okay?
Yeah, obviously a long trip down there on the float, but reports from Dean this morning were very positive. They've eaten up well over the last couple of days, and a pretty straightforward trip down.
Okay, racing this weekend also Friday at Te Rapa and Te Aroha on Sunday. Anything else of note in the Pike team?
Yeah, look, we've got a big team, probably our biggest for a weekend for a long time. I think we're nominating 28 horses this weekend. Wow. So, obviously they'll all find their way, and hopefully some of them put their hands up and head to and progress to some of the better races later on in the season.
Who's the one you're most confident about going into the weekend?
Most confident in the weekend, out of 28 of them. It'd be nice to know when the barrier draws come out, Aidan.
Yeah.
Look, I think a number of the runners down at Christchurch will run well. Probably if I was going to back one of them, she's trialled up really well as Providence provides. She's just in a 65 1,400 metre race, well graded, and she's trialled up super heading into Saturday, so I think she'll be a very strong winning chance.
Tony, also an interest in Melbourne this weekend with Tutukaka. Heads to the UCI Stakes and continues the Derby build-up. How is he?
Yeah, really happy he's come through his fresh up run really well. Frosty's going to stick with him on Saturdays. Marked him as his Derby ride for the spring. Doesn't look like a really strong race on paper. A lot of maideners coming through off obviously provincial maiden wins, so you'd expect him to be really competitive up to the 1800 on Saturday.
He's progressed to your liking?
Yeah, reports from Melbourne. We've had a few videos and a few photos. Obviously, it's not like being there, but he's due to gallop on the course proper probably about now at Mornington in company with one of Pat Carey's horses. So, no doubt we'll get a report from Tony shortly. And he's pretty happy with his progress, eating well, and he's settled in really well into his new environment over there.
All going well this weekend. What's his Derby lead up?
Yeah, obviously safely through Saturday, there's three options. Heading into the Derby, that's the joys of Melbourne in the spring. Obviously, the Caulfield Stakes is probably I think it's Caulfield Stakes or Caulfield Classic over 2000 is probably the one that we're leaning to, but obviously you've got the Mini Valley Vars the week before and also the Geelong Derby Trial, so any one of those three are going to be his final lead up to the Derby.
Yep, but the Derby preparation's going as planned?
Yeah, obviously only had a short break after Brisbane, so he's got a lot of residual fitness under his belt, and so far so good. He's eating well, he's nice and sound, and I'm sure you'll see hopefully a better barrier draw this Saturday too. We can't seem to pull one over there, us Kiwis at the moment, but if he draws a gate, I think he's going to go close to winning Saturday, and obviously he's going to continue to improve heading into the Derby from there.
Okay, you've also got Sherwood Forest over in Melbourne. How's he doing?
He raced last Saturday, probably a little bit disappointed in his run. Loomed like he was a chance on the corner, but admittedly they had gone quite slow. He was just left flat-footed when they straightened up. So look, third up, obviously he went over there, underdone with missing a run here. We're looking for an improvement, and he's another one who really nice to get a barrier draw, and we can sort of put him a little bit closer to the speed, which is obviously where his best form was here.
Yeah, when will we see him next?
He'll probably run the Cooney Handicap in 2.5 weeks. It's a Wednesday meeting at Caulfield over 2,000 metres, and obviously that'll give us a good line on where he fits in Melbourne. And if he heads to the better races, or we start looking for some country cups.
Jamie, we've just seen Predator gallop this morning. Just tell us what you made of that work.
Yeah, I was happy with that. Just worked over 1,000, just trying to keep a bit of speed in his legs. Whether he's a horse that can handle 3 runs in 6 weeks or not sort of remains to be seen, but we've done everything we can to try and keep him nice and fresh. And if he gets away from the gates cleanly and can put himself up in the race, he's going to run well, because he did run well last start at Hastings, but just too slow away from the barrier cost him any chance.
What did you ask of him this morning?
Just worked over 1,000. Troy rode him on the grass. Just did some nice work, and Troy was happy with him.
What did you make of his run in the Tarzino?
Run was okay, just got too far out of his ground. Just had too much ground to make up. Up to a mile should suit him. Third up, and as I say, I've just tried to keep him fresh and keep a bit of weight on him, and keep him sort of bouncing around. So hopefully he'll go down there and run well. Okay.
The improvement, is it there for this weekend to see him competitive?
Well, it's going to have to be, isn't it? But so the field's going to fall away a little bit, hence why we're there. We were sort of 50-50 on whether we maybe miss a leg or wait for the 2,000. But we'll go down and have a look, pay up, and see what happens with those acceptances. But no reason why he can't run well.
Mindset at the moment is to be there for the last leg as well?
We'll see. Then you go 4 runs in 8 weeks and 3 long trips to Hastings and back, which is a hard ask. Not many horses can do that. Avantage probably could have, or did, but not many others would have the constitution to be able to do that.
Okay, what will your attack be like on that Livermore Classic?
We're a little bit quiet. If she's a thinker running the 74 mile, she'll run well. And then we'll have probably Cornflower Blue and Mai Tai in the Open 1300. Apart from that, we're just a little bit quiet, being held up by wet tracks. We've got probably a bigger team than normal in the South Island already, trying to get on the good ground. We're just a little bit quiet. We'll have a nice team of runners at Te Rapa on Friday.
Okay, anything of note at Te Rapa?
Brando and Festivity will both run in the Open 12. I think that's going to be quite a good race. There'll be some good noms there. We'll have a couple of sort of horses working through the grades, but they would be the main horses. Savillon Blanc will probably stay at Te Rapa and run in the Open Mile with a view to being really competitive in the last league at Hastings. just don't know if I don't know if she can handle the 3 trips to Hastings, so he might just run her a bit closer to home, an hour up the road there, and hopefully really have her peaking for the last leg.
Okay, Riccarton this weekend as well. Will you have a presence there?
Yeah, we've got some nice horses to go to Riccarton. Marcus Aurelius will run in the Open 14. He ran well the other day without a lot of luck. He's on a sort of Copeland's path. Novia is a colt we've got a bit of time for. He's probably going to run in the Guineas Trial. 1400 should suit him. And we'll have some other sort of rating type horses that should run well.
Okay, let's talk Australia. First of all, let's assess the weekend just gone. Probably, first of all, what do you make of her effort?
Marvellous run, really proud of her. Beaten by, well, I guess arguably the best horse in Australia at the moment. Him and Very Elegant wouldn't be much between them, would there? So she's run out of her skin, handled the back up well, and we'll go to the Caulfield Stakes in a couple of weeks. And then we need to make up our mind whether we press on to the Cox Plate or whether we drop back to a mile for the Empire Rose.
Okay, and the rest of your team over there, how are they going and what's on for them?
So Sort of State, he ran well on the weekend. He got caught 3 out with no cover, carried 60 first up without a trial, so he was going to always improve. So he'll go to the Roman Consul in a couple of weeks. Should run well. On Trivier was big on the weekend, great sectional, just got too far out of her ground. She goes a month, hopefully with an invitation into that Fillies and Mares race. And Carmela, she goes to a race called the Weekend Hustler at Caulfield, which is a listed 1400 against the boys, just trying to get a bit of weight relief for her. She ran well first up, 4 and 5 deep the trip with a big weight, so keep an eye on her second up.
So nothing in Australia this weekend?
No, a little bit quiet over there this weekend, but a long trip to Hastings instead.
Pam, seen Harlech Gallop this morning. What did you make of the work?
Yeah, much happier this morning. Obviously, track's a lot better. It's been pretty tough for Yakka getting them up there on these heavy tracks we've been galloping on, but yeah, he was good this morning. Sam said he worked super, so much happier.
How did you assess the first day effort?
I'm not too worried. The track was always going to be off, but we had him spot on. Everything was going perfectly, and then we had to run where we didn't want to run, and it was only a 2-week backup to Hastings, so just went a little bit off track from where we wanted to be. And then the track came up probably just a little bit more testing than what we thought we were, but we thought we needed to have a run. I wouldn't take too much out of it. He drew one. We obviously had to use the draw a little bit. I think he's better when he's just ridden back a little bit, find his feet and getting over the top of them. So he had a run, seems to have come through it fine. I'm not too worried about it.
What did you ask of him this morning?
He just sat back and just let him find his feet and finish over the top of another filly and just get his confidence back. I think, we did a lot of work leading into that last run on very heavy tracks, and it's just not him. He's the type of horse, being a bull, that he needs his ego stroked a little bit. Yeah. So we just tried to make him feel good and give him a little bit of a victory and just see if that just perked him up, and he seemed really good. What
have you noticed about him since he's come back from Australia this time round?
To be quite honest, nothing really. He's always been just a lovely horse. He's outstanding to look at. His nature's impeccable. Wouldn't even know he's a colt. So, he's a bit bigger. He's a bit stronger, but still, I still don't think he's actually really matured yet. So, he's no different than what he was here last time than what he is now. So.
Okay, what do you expect from him this weekend?
But we're just going to wait and see what the weather does. It's really hard, Obviously, he doesn't want a wet track. And as I said before, he does need his ego stroked, so when he gets a wet track, he's been around a little bit now, and you just sort of wonder whether he's 100% putting in. He looks after himself, but you get a slightly better track and he gets a nice trip, and he can certainly finish over the top of them.
Okay, where does this fit in his preparation this race?
We just take race by race. Obviously, we can assess whether we go the 2,000 metres. Always found it quite tough to go down to Hastings 3 times, especially when they're only 2 weeks apart. It does really take a bit out of them. We may look, he obviously holds a nomination for the Copeland's Mile, and it's a track I think he really likes, and so do I. But we might just freshen him up and we may look at that, but we've got all summer, so there's plenty on option for him. We just got to get him doing things right, and I'm sure he'll pick up one through the summer somewhere.
What else of note have you got running this weekend?
We've got some nice horses going around this weekend. Obviously, a nice filly, a lot of time for in Tavia. I think she'll go through the grades pretty quickly. Another nice, really big horse called Holston. Obviously, He was good first up, just did a few little things wrong. You'll see him go through the grades pretty quickly as well. But yeah, just nice little team. A lot of nice maideners sort of coming out. It's just been a little bit slow getting them there, just waiting for better tracks.
Björn Baker from across the Tasman now. And Björn, I'm loving the get up, sticking to the COVID protocols with the mask on for our interview today.
Yeah, we have to. Unfortunately, if I was at home, I'd be able to have it off, but I'm still at work, and Tuesday morning's always flat tack. And as you know, they police the protocols pretty strictly over here.
Let's have a little talk through your runners at the Kensington tomorrow afternoon. We'll start in racebook order. Race number 3, Lady Loves to Gamble, a second last time at Gosford. What's the progress been like since then?
Yeah, really happy with her. It's a horse I've just picked up off Claire Cunningham, and she was a city class sort of horse, but I think if anything, she's probably got a little bit stronger and bigger. And her first up run was excellent. I think Drawn Gate 1 tomorrow, we can afford to be positive whether she leads or just off it with Jason Colladon. Of course, he knows her well. And I think she's going really well. I think she's ready to run a very strong 1300. I'm confident she'll be in the finish.
And then race number 4, Merlinite, who's third up. And you're taking a bit of a jump in distance, aren't you?
Yeah, and she's very dour, so I think she'll appreciate the 2400. She has actually been running pretty good races. I give her a good each way chance at good odds tomorrow. She's a horse that just needs as long as she can get. And I think she looks a lot better since her last run as well. So I think she's a definite chance. There's a bit of rain forecast tomorrow too that wouldn't be against her either.
Also in that race, Savvy Valentino, a Kiwi bred, a race day fitness on its side, this one, and you've got great stats at the distance actually as well.
Yeah, he is. He's an odd horse because until you get to 2-4, he doesn't show much. And he goes well at the Kensington track. If there's any rain to slow him up, he's a chance. He just is a dead set 2-4 metre horse and probably further. So the further, the better. His last run was actually good. He kept, even though he finished last of 6, he kept finding the line. He's not out of it if it becomes a battle of attrition tomorrow.
And race number 6, we've got Ocean Emperor, our 5th fresh after quite a reasonable break. What was Karen McAvoy's feedback after that race?
Yeah, as much as anything, he may have needed it. It's been tough going, getting some of these horses fit. He only had the one trial at home before running. Often I like to give them 2 trials and away from home, but some of the challenges with the COVID restrictions have made it tough. And I think he'll be a lot better second up over 1250. On his best form, he will be very competitive in this race, but he's definitely been a little bit hit and miss lately. But drawn out deep, we might try and get a bit of cover and get to the outside.
He's won at the Kensington as well, hasn't he, which is a plus?
Yeah, he has, and the Kensington's a tricky track, I must say, sort of, and it can, with rain forecast, you just never know how it's going to play, whether it's inside or right down the outside fence. It's a tough track to pick.
And then in race number 7, you've got New World Tapestry. Just a note for punters, is dual nominated, isn't it, at Wyong as well? Just struggled to put it together at the past 2. A few excuses there for you?
Yeah, he's come over from Europe. He's a stakes performer there, and he's just doing things upside down at the moment. He's still not the finished product, and he's been gelded. My favourite quote is that he's a European, but another Aussie gelded can't be a bad thing. But He's got ability. It's just he hasn't shown it yet, so I wouldn't put a line through him.
And then race number 7, Ita, who's been on fire this campaign, looking for a 4th win in a row. Can she do that?
Yeah, I like her a lot. She's just gone through the grade. She's got better with time. I think there's a couple of horses up the top who are eating up a lot of the money up top, and that's what I think they'll do. Eat the money up, and we'll get better odds for Ita because she is airborne at the moment. I think she's in great order. I think the 1800 will suit. She's got a gun gate. Collett stays on. I think she's a very, very good chance at good each way odds.
She must be a nice horse to train too. So I was looking at her form. She handles all conditions. It doesn't seem like there's many chinks in her armour.
That's right, and I think she's got very few going to tomorrow. If the rain comes, she'll be right. If it doesn't matter. She's got a good gate, so she can sort of hopefully find the best part of the track and just settle midfield. So she's got a really good racing pattern. She's sensible, and no, I think she'll be in the finish.
What do you feel is your best winning chance for the Kensington tomorrow?
I tip to make it 4 on the trot.
Oh, love it. Alrighty. And let's move on to Wyong, where we've just got the one to mention here. Russ Bus, another horse who is resuming. A really nice resume, actually, this horse, and a trial winner, which is good.
Yeah, she's out of a mare that I bought off Waikato Stud when I first came over, missed 10 pins, I paid 8,000 for, and she ended up being a very good horse for me. And she's getting better and better, Russ Bus. She'll go straight to the front. She'll be really hard to catch.
And obviously you've got New World Tapestry nominated at Wyong as well, who we spoke about earlier, dual nominated at the Kensington too. Let's fast forward to Saturday, where we've got Group 1 action coming out of Randwick. And we'll kick things off with She's Ideal in the Metropolitan. And you must be pretty chuffed with that Group 3 win at the last outing.
Yeah, I thought it was a super win. It was a soft win. It was only a sprint home. She got out and it was sort of a little bit workmanlike. But she's going super. She's in the zone. She's a better mare this time in. She's got a great base from the autumn, where she came second in the Tancred, fourth in the Sydney Cup. I think if she has any luck in running, she's going to be very, very hard to beat.
You had her nominated in a number of races throughout that Saturday, including the Epsom. Is there a sort of reason you vied for the Metropolitan?
Oh, I just think the 2-4 suits, and it's a great platform if she does perform, and I think she will, to go down for the Caulfield Cup. So ideally, we'd love to get down to Melbourne after Saturday.
Harpo Max also in the same race, 2 wins before a 6th in the Newcastle Cup. What can you tell us about this one's chances?
Yeah, he's going good too. He's up over 2-4 suits. We've got Rachel King back on. She has a great relationship with him, and his run in the Newcastle Cup was a lot better than probably what it looks. It was a sprint home that day. It was very, very hard to make ground, and I thought he ran very well. He gets in with a good weight. He's in there as a great each way chance.
In that cleanway handicap, you've got Star Spangled Rodeo, Arapo, and Prime Candidate. Tell us a little bit about each of them.
Yeah, well, Prime Candidate's back. We've got James McDonald on, which is always a big tick, and he'll roll forward. I think his last preparation, he never fired, but he's a stakes class horse on his day, so he's not out of it. Star Spangled Rodeo was very good fresh up. He worked extremely well this morning, and I think he's ready to go well. He's going to be better over a little bit further later, but he's not out of it. And Arapahoe's a French horse that has got a lot of ability. It'll probably be too short for him. We've got Alicia Collett on there, so we're sticking strong with the Kiwis come Saturday.
And finally, Kiss the Bride as well, the other one that we just want to touch on, and a lovely last start win.
Yeah, he was dominant last time, and a few people did well out of him. We were pretty confident he'd run well, and I'm confident he'll go really well in the mile race again this weekend. So I think he's never been better. Funnily enough, he's a Waikato stud horse again out of the good mare I Do. He didn't probably reach her top form until she was 6 and 7, and he's much the same. He's just getting better and better, and I think he's ready to go on with his last start win on Saturday.
Got some high quality horses in on Saturday at Randwick and some very good races. Who do you see as your best winning chance for that meeting?
Oh, I've got to go with She's Ideal. If she has any luck in running, I think she's primed for the moment. Saying that, the hardest horse to beat might be one of Murray and Andrews. They train in name. I train in presence. Quick Thinker's going very well too, so I don't think he's out of it. He'll give you guys a strong hand.
Yeah, and a bit of rain around will suit him down to the ground as well, won't it? Also, just before we let you go, Björn, tell me a horse that we can follow out of the stable going forward, one that's getting you excited.
Well, I think I've got a Bellucci Babe who won really well last Wednesday. She's going to the Division Stakes Saturday week. She's a mare I've always had a lot of time for, and she's stepping up into stakes company, but I think she's up to it.
Well, a big thank you to Björn for that valuable insight into this afternoon's races and, of course, for the rest of the week. And also a big thank you to all of our guests on the show this morning. It's been great to have them with us and hopefully provided you with some good information. For now, though, let's recap our best bets. Well, that's day one of the form done and dusted. We hope you've enjoyed the show and gained some valuable insight. We'll be back as always tomorrow for more action.